Yo, I found the upload button again, so let's get straight into it. 5 things that Test Drive Unlimited Solo Crown has to get right at launch to make this game successful. But before we even get into that, let's talk about some new information regarding TDSC, starting off with a Kiloton's interview with TDSC sound designer. But hold on, before I even get into that, because this guy's the GOAT, let's talk about Nikon's financial document, which was posted on October 30th. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because, as we already know, based on the July reveal, we are aware that TDSC is going to be dropping in early 2024. We just don't have a date yet. However, in this financial document, it does say the 4th quarter will also have a strong lineup of new releases with several games slated to come out, particularly Test Drive Unlimited Solo Crown, which obviously the 4th quarter for Nikon would be ranging from January to March 2024. So it looks like as of a couple of weeks ago, Nikon is still on track for that date. I want to point out, if you guys remember, in May 2022, we did get information that TDSC was going to be delayed from its September 2022 release date. Now, that was about a 4-month difference. So now, considering we're only about 4 months away, because this month is literally about to end, guys, we're about halfway in now, and December is just coming around the corner. So we really only have 4 months left for this game to launch as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this newsletter or the one in December doesn't mention anything about the delay, and we are still on track to see this game in early 2024. But so far, it seems like that is the truth, and we're going to be seeing this game early 2024. I mean, we are still waiting on the newsletter for this month, though. We haven't received it yet, but I do think either this month or next month, we should be getting a release date, to be fair, as well as some more marketing for the game, because it's kind of needed at this point. But let's talk about the interview with sound designer Kevin Dedeau. Now, I want to point out, like I said, I met this guy in person while I went to France way back in June. And man, the sounds and obviously the KT engine have been massively improved from WC generations. You guys don't remember it. And I'm not going to read through this entire thing, but it is definitely a very good read for you guys to figure out if you want to learn more about the sound design in this game. I mean, you've watched my videos from before, so the sounds in TDOC are pretty damn good. And he does mention the best sounding car, well, his favorite, is the Audi TT, which is now a new confirmed vehicle. We only knew it as a traffic car previously, but now it's pretty much been confirmed as an actual vehicle in game that we can drive and purchase at a dealership. And while I'm also here, if you do check SteamDB, there's also some pretty nice information regarding TDSC with this new build being added called Stress Test. Now, this doesn't mean that we're going to be getting an open beta. You can stress test games without having an open beta. You would normally just have an external company run your stress test, but the fact that they're doing a stress test after the 2 play tests means they're probably making some pretty good progress on the network side of the game. Again, this is all just speculation and assumptions, but that's what I'd like to assume so. And for all you Steam Deck fans, there was this added in the app configuration, Steam Deck touchscreen. Again, whether or not Steam Deck support is going to happen at launch, we have no idea, but it looks like the game is moving along anyways. So now that I've caught you up with pretty much every new recent bit of information regarding TDSC, let's talk about those 5 things that this game has to do well in order to impress all the fans at launch. Starting off with microtransactions, and this is a pretty big one because honestly, it's something that gets the community riled up pretty easily, especially seeing how racing games have been as of recently. I mean, you have Forza Horizon 5, which actually just recently added some microtransactions for buying like a car pack or something like that. You have Need for Speed Unbound, which is a bit iffy with what they've been doing recently with chargings for some of the vehicles. Honestly, that's a whole different story. And Motorfest, I haven't really dwelled deep into the microtransactions in that game, but I assume it's the same like the Crew 2. But anyways, to this point, TDU2, I want to point out it did have microtransactions. I mean, guys, no matter what, this game is not going to launch without microtransactions. It's just like TDU2. TDU2 had microtransactions. It's just that it did them pretty damn well in my opinion. You did have exclusive vehicles, which even though you did have to buy them with IRL money, you still have to purchase them with your in-game money at the dealership. And you could not use your real-life money to purchase in-game currency. That's one thing that I think is very key that this game should not have at all. As long as it's something like TDU2, honestly, I have no problem with any of the microtransactions in TDUSC. I mean, granted, they can be throwing out overpowered cars in this game, but nonetheless, as long as they have microtransactions that is more in tune with what the community finds acceptable, honestly, I think I'm fine with that. But I'll let you guys discuss it in the comment section below, because microtransactions is a pretty subjective thing. It's either you're gonna hate them or you're gonna be okay with them or you're gonna love them. And most times than not, it's either you're gonna be okay with them or just hate them no matter how they're implemented. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not really going to talk more on that, but that's just my opinion. Moving on though, servers. Now, this is a pretty damn big thing, and I'm going to talk about why. As you all know, TDU2 pretty much had some pretty piss poor servers at launch, and that was detrimental to the game's success early on. And I think the same thing is going to be looked at for TDUC, especially considering Alan Jarnu, I'm pretty sure he does not want this game to have the same repeats as TDU2. So the servers is a big thing, and the fact that we also had 2 playtests to stress test the servers, and I just showed you that there was a stress test build just added to Steam database. I think that's pretty much fair to say that the Kiloton and the Con are working very hard to make sure that that section of the game is going to be as good as possible. So fingers crossed for that nothing really happens much beyond that, but that's another thing that they have to get right at launch. Moving on though, the marketing. Guys, if this game is actually going to drop and there's not a delay happening and it's still going to be early 2024, we've got to see some marketing beef up. And granted, maybe that's what this newsletter is for. I mean, we're about halfway through the month now. Not sure if we're going to get the newsletter tomorrow or next week or the week after, at the end of November, but nonetheless, these next 2 newsletters have got to hit hard, and honestly, I would expect a release date, especially before the end of the year, because it's either that or January latest, and even then, honestly, I think that's a bit too late. But I really do hope that we see the marketing kick up to get this game ready for launch, because as you guys have seen, the sounds are there, the maps there, the vehicle car list is there, and honestly, this game on paper is looking like a pretty damn good open world racing game, but Nakon have to market that as such. So fingers crossed we see that in January newsletter latest, but honestly, if this game's dropping like February or March, you probably want to give a 2-month buffer for a release date. So it looks like December or even this month's newsletter is when we can hope that we'll see something massively showcased regarding the game. But Nakon, I have faith you guys are gonna do well. Just please kick out this marketing, show us what you got, because this game needs it, bro. This whole franchise, and not even the whole franchise, the racing game genre in general just needs it. So fingers crossed we still see something like that. Now the next thing is the roadmap and DLC. Now, one thing that I found that racing games, especially considering that Nakon has said that this will be live service per se, is the DLC and roadmap, because the marketing kind of made people think that Nakon and KT aren't on like any good schedule or they missed deadlines. For all we know, that's not really even the truth. But if they could come out with a nice set roadmap of the game with actual update months or quarters whenever they want to do it as such, they can give that to us with what features are coming, what features will be added, vehicles added, etc, etc. I think that will give people some good faith of restoration per se. So they do need to come home with a nice DLC or roadmap before this game launches, especially since, I mean, it'll get us hyped, and we all know TDU is definitely a game that can thrive post-launch. So it would be nice to see that. But last but not least, the 5th and honestly the most important thing of all is the game's launch state, guys. And this is time to get serious, because as of recently, some games have been coming out and they're not optimized well, or they have a lot of bugs at launch, and that can't be what happens to TDC, because the worst thing that we can see happen for this game is it flop at launch, because that honestly would be the TDU franchise near dead and done. And I don't think any of us want to see that happen, especially if we want the race game genre to improve as so. But again, all these play tests, you know, getting feedback from the players, it seems to be going well so far, and we just have to hope and pray that this game launches well optimized. The most hated thing about a game at launch is the optimization. I mean, granted, if you have a GT 780, you shouldn't be playing TDC on that card anyways, but if you have a fairly good card, honestly, let's just hope for the best that this game is optimized and it runs well. Even on consoles, I'm hoping there's a 60 FPS mode when that happens. But regardless, this game has to launch in a near perfect state, because everyone is going to be looking at it. And I'm really interested to see how this goes, guys. It can either go literally in one or two ways. This game comes out and does insanely well, and next thing you know, this is like the next best thing in the race game franchise, or comes out, does and it just happens as it happens. But that's all I have to say for this video, guys. Let me know if there's anything that you have to see in this game for launch, and let me know if you think this game is actually going to launch in early 2024. I did run a poll, which I'll put up on the screen right now, and it seemed a lot of you guys thought this was going to release at the end of 2024, and a lot of you guys thought it'd be before summer. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm Alex7, and I'll try and get more consistent, guys. It's honestly hard for me because, like I said, being honest with you, I need to make money, I have to pay my bills. And in order to do that, I can't do YouTube as consistently as I want to. But at some point, who knows, maybe I will be able to. And that's all I have to say for this video, guys. I'm Max7. You want to see some more videos? Check on that side of the check on that side of the screen for more information. I'm Max7, and I'll see you guys on the video. I'm out, guys. Peace. And no, I do not work for Nakano Casey. You've probably seen the shirt. That's just what I got in June. Peace.